Scotland, along with England and Wales, is to ban the sale of single-use disposable vapes. Holyrood ministers are also backing new powers to restrict vape flavours, introduce plain packaging and change how e-cigarettes are displayed in shops so they don't appeal to children. At the same time, government action will also be taken against smoking. It will soon be illegal to sell tobacco products to anyone born on or after the 1st of January 2009, meaning that kids aged 15 or under will never be able to legally buy them. Although widely viewed as safer than smoking, the long-term risks of vaping are still unclear. We discussed whether the crackdown on vapes is needed with Sheila Duffy, the Chief Executive of the health charity Ash Scotland, and Mark Piggott, who is the owner of the retailer Scotvapes. Sheila, you've been pushing for this.
Yes, absolutely. We have been campaigning since we started to hear about an alarming rise in children and young people taking up e-cigarettes in late 2021. And these disposable cigarettes are particularly attractive and available to children, and environmentally and in child health terms, they're a disaster. So we welcome the announcement today.
And Mark, what about that specific point? I mean, vapes do come in a variety of colours, a variety of flavours. Quite clearly, we can see the appeal of them to young children, young people.
That is the case, but they're not legally allowed to be sold to children and young people. They're there for adults to help them stop smoking, and disposable vapes have made that a lot easier for lapsed vaping customers and smokers who'd never tried vaping before to actually take up vaping and give up the scourge of tobacco.
So 2 points there, Sheila. So we'll go to the first one. Mark's saying that they shouldn't be sold to younger people. Is this really an issue of enforcing rules that already exist rather than bringing in a ban?
Well, certainly we would like to see better enforcement. There's a 10% regular test purchase failure rate for tobacco, and it's twice that for e-cigarettes. But I think there's a real issue with how these products are promoted and how they are particularly aimed at children. They're bright, vibrant colours, sweetie and fruit flavours. They're less than pocket money prices, and they're available practically everywhere. So I think we need to clamp down on the promotions, the visibility and the easy availability of these products.
But if the licensing was enforced, that wouldn't happen, would it? The people would not, traders would not be allowed to sell them to children.
Well, there's already an age restriction, and there's a register in Scotland, so we know who's meant to be selling them. They know, and they've been informed about the age restriction. But these things are all over the place. They're being picked up by children in the street. They're being handed on by older young adults to adolescents. You know, we need to do a bit more to curb this. There's been an alarming rise in use.
Mark, you're wanting to come in.
Yeah, I do. There's a major point that Sheila's brought up there is the fact that these e-cigarettes are sold everywhere. Disposable vapes are sold in shops and by shopkeepers who know nothing about vaping and who know nothing about the whole process of bringing people off of cigarettes, reducing their nicotine quantities as they go, and then eventually having them quit altogether, for which vaping is the greatest tool there's ever been in reducing smoking numbers. So the availability and where these devices are sold is a major issue. We would advocate that they only be sold in regulated vape shops by staff who understand vaping and understand how they can be used to wean people off of cigarettes.
So 2 points I want you to pick up on there, Sheila. First of all, to Mark's point about just being sold in specialist shops, on that point.
I mean, if you had specialist shops in the way that you have specialist tobacco shops with no street front displays, then it would be easier to police than having them everywhere, for sure.
We have specialist vaping shops. Unfortunately, disposable vapes are sold all over the place by people. It can be barbers' shops, hairdressers, phone shops who have no knowledge of vaping and what they're for.
You're acknowledging that, Sheila?
Oh, I've no problems acknowledging that, but I think we must be careful not to pretend that these are medicinal products, because there's a whole range of recreational commercial e-cigarettes, generations of devices, 30,000 at least different kinds of liquids, and these specialist shops and wherever they're sold may be experts on the products, but they're not experts on health. Medicinal products are carefully controlled.
Can I ask you, Sheila, how many people you've helped to stop smoking over the years? Because our business, we've helped thousands of people to stop smoking by giving them the correct device, giving them a choice of flavours, choice of devices. We have thank you cards on the shelves in our shops from people whose lives we've helped and prolonged by getting them off of cigarettes.
Let Sheila answer that.
Well, there's very large-scale cohort research in Australia, and what it found was that smokers often go through a number of learning cycles about what works for them before they quit. And most people don't use a quit aid in the last attempt that's the successful one. Most people have just got to the point where they're ready and they know what's motivating them.
So Sheila, sorry to interrupt. Sorry, Mark. What about, you don't accept Mark's point then that vapes help people give up smoking? Sheila.
Well, I listened to what the World Health Organization said. And what it said is for some individuals who have tried other methods, this could be a route away from tobacco, and that's welcome. But for the whole population, it's more likely to do harm because it will keep smokers smoking and dual using. About 42% of vapers in Scotland also smoke, and it will bring young people into the market who've never smoked.
Just finally, Mark.
Yeah, I disagree. I think the whole point is being missed on how important vaping has been in reducing smoking numbers. I sometimes wonder if Ash Scotland, on their latest news page at the moment, they have as many articles about vaping as they do about smoking, whether they actually want to prolong the life of Ash Scotland rather than prolong the life of smokers by helping them quit smoking quickly by using vapes.
Sheila.
Yeah, the World Health Organization is really clear. Young people who've never smoked, who take up vaping, 3 times more likely to end up as smokers.
The World Health Organization don't work with smokers on a daily basis who come in and ask for help with stopping cigarettes.
Do.
Okay, well,
we work on the front line in this business, and we've helped thousands of people without any thanks. And we provide a service that has helped so many people improve their lives.
Finally, okay, Mark, very finally, Sheila, what's your reaction to the other development that the legal age of buying tobacco is set to change? Can that practically be enforced?
So we need enforcement as it is at the moment. We've got 20% test purchase failure rates for e-cigarettes, 10% regular test purchase for cigarettes. This is a long-term measure that will clear tobacco off the shelves. It's a product like no other. It is health-harming and lethal and addictive.
Just very finally, you're nodding to that, Mark, just to let you...
I'd agree, yeah, tobacco is a product like no other. I mean, the deaths it's caused over the decades are horrendous, which were covered up for a long time. I'd like to say something quickly about the enforcement aspect and the percentages Sheila's talking about. The enforcement agencies, like our trading standards departments, hugely need more funding to do their job properly. They've had their numbers cut. We speak regularly with trading standards in various councils across Scotland, and they're all really struggling to keep up.
Okay, there we shall leave it. Mark and Sheila, thank you both for joining us in Scotland Tonight this evening.